Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Some areas have the potential to see a little sleet and snow later tonight. We'll break down who has the best chance coming up.
How neighbors are remembering an elderly southern Kentucky man who died in a house fire.
It looks like taxpayers will be paying more for a drug first responders say can save the lives of overdose victims.
Try to make something matter and try to help somebody.
And the inspiring message from a central Kentucky girl battling a rare illness. WKYT News at 6 starts now. Good evening. You've noticed it if you've been outside today. Temperatures have taken quite a drop throughout the day.
And while many of us are seeing rain now, it could become a wintry mix tonight. We begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. He joins us with what he's tracking on the First Alert Defender. How about it, Chris?
Yeah, we're talking about a lot of cold out there, as you mentioned. We're close to 30 degrees colder at this same point today than we were 24 hours ago. Look at the numbers. Now, 24 hours ago, granted, we were into kind of fall-like numbers, into the upper 60s in a few spots. Right now, we're well down into the 30s, so 25 to 32 degrees colder into most areas. Wind chill. Feels like it is even colder than that. Feels like 26 degrees now into Lexington, 27 showing up into Frankfort. Actual thermometers are into the mid-30s into most of central and northern Kentucky. Still in the southeastern parts of the state, we're dealing with some slightly milder air, but your numbers continue to drop. Now, if you're northbound on 75 tonight, or if you live in the Boone, Kenton, Campbell County areas, northern Kentucky around Covington, freezing rain is a possibility. May create just a little glazing, especially on some of the car tops, the rooftops. Road temperatures there are pretty above normal or above freezing as of now, so it wouldn't be a whole lot on the area roads that I'm expecting. Now, Life First Alert Defender is tracking a bit of a wintry mix across northern Kentucky, though the greatest concentration of moisture now across the Morehead State University area back into the Lexington metro, where we had a bit of a break. Now moving back into town from downtown toward sections of Versailles Road, Nicholasville Road. That's where the rain's coming back on in. Southern Kentucky on and off raindrops that will continue. This whole mess, guys, continues to come at us from the southwest. And you notice a little pink, a little purple showing up. That's that bit of a wintry mix aimed toward northern Kentucky. I'll come back in a matter of minutes to show you who has the best shot of seeing some sleet and snow. That's in about 10 minutes to be exact.
Chris, thank you. Tonight we are learning more about an elderly Whitley County man who died during a fire at his home. Neighbors tell us their community won't be the same without him.
Investigators say that 85-year-old Harold Carpenter died yesterday in the fire at his home on Highway 904 near Williamsburg. Today, Sam Smith talked to some people who knew Carpenter. It's our top story at 6.
Harold Carpenter lived alone. I'm told he spent some of his free time with the neighbors.
He'd come up here if he had some extra corn. He'd come up and offer me corn.
Joseph Grillon lived next to Carpenter for 7 years.
Got down there, talked to him about hunting on his property, and I guess we hit it off pretty good, and he told me no problem. I couldn't hunt turkeys because he called them little fellas. He didn't like to have the little fellas shot.
So when he found out Carpenter died in a house fire?
Well, I was devastated, to tell you the truth. You know, it was hard to accept.
When fire crews arrived, smoke was coming from the right rear of the house.
Quick response time, we saved the house, but, I still hate the loss for the family.
Friends and family are trying to cope with Carpenter's death. Grillon will miss spending time with his neighbor.
I used to like going down there and chatting with him and whatever. So he'd always want you to sit a spell.
In Whitley County.
It's going to be missed, I know that.
Sam Smith, WKYT.
Fire investigators are still trying to figure out what caused that fire, but neighbors told us that Carpenter was a smoker. Firefighters say they contained the fire to a bedroom.
A Fayette County judge will decide soon if former state lawmaker Steve Nunn can withdraw his guilty plea for murder. Judge Pamela Goodwine's office tells us that briefs from both sides are due by December 15th, and the judge plans to make a ruling by the end of the month. Nunn pled guilty to the 2009 murder of his former fiancée, Amanda Ross, but during a hearing in October, Nunn asked to withdraw his plea, claiming his attorney at the time failed him. It didn't take long for police to arrest a man they say robbed a pizza delivery driver in Nicholasville. Police have charged 34-year-old Leron McKee with robbery. Last night, Nicholasville police say McKee called Domino's Pizza for a delivery to his home on Jefferson Street. When the driver showed up, police say McKee demanded his money and threatened him. Police say they ran the phone number used to call in that order through their records, and that led them to McKee. They say McKee had used that number twice to call police in the past.
It's been a deadly problem in many Kentucky communities, heroin, and first responders have been trying to stop it. But the price for Narcan, the drug used to save patients who overdose on heroin, is going up. Taxpayers will be paying for it. As Kristen Kennedy tells us, Lexington firefighters say they'll keep buying Narcan no matter what it costs.
Lexington emergency responders have been using Narcan on overdose victims for more than 30 years. The drug helps reverse the effects of opiates like heroin.
It's a zero harmful drug. You can give it to pregnant females. It will do them no harm. So if you give it by mistake, you haven't done any damage, but it immediately reverses the effects of heroin or any kind of opiate drug.
Narcan, Battalion Chief Brian Wood says, wakes up a body when it's slowing down.
The guys come in and tell me about it. They use it on a daily basis. I mean, it's proven.
Wood says their crews go through 60 to 70 doses a month. It used to cost a couple bucks a dose, but the price, like the need, continues to climb.
It's part of our unconscious unknown protocols, so we use it on anybody we find that's unconscious or, not responding appropriately. So not all of that is heroin, but most of it is heroin or could be pill abuse.
Right now the cost for one dose is $15, but that price could double.
We have 11 trucks that run 24 hours a day, and I would say all of those trucks use it on a daily basis.
The climbing cost will go into next year's budget,
which eventually will come from the city and filter out to the taxpayers.
Wood says their chief will discuss costs with council early next year. In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Chief Wood says that soon Lexington police may carry Narcan. City leaders are looking into the possibility that officers would be able to help with overdose calls.
This time of year, we are all thinking about what we are most thankful for and how we can reach out and help others. Recently, I had the chance to meet a little girl wise beyond her years who is using her rare illness to teach others how to make life matter. New at 6 tonight, her inspiring message and how, when she least expected it, others inspired her. When you're 8 years old and in the 3rd grade, what matters most?
Capital F-E-R-A.
To Maddie Blankenship's school ranks right near the top, and there's a long list behind that.
I love to do art and play soccer and softball. I love to run cross country.
When I met Maddie at her St. John's School in Georgetown, I quickly learned we share a passion for running. I also learned Maddie's love for her running shoes has special meaning.
And it makes me feel strong.
Running is an escape, and this is why I learned Maddie doesn't always feel strong. Every Sunday is infusion day. Maddie must undergo 5 hours of injections to help her fight off infections that could compromise her health.
She takes IVIG every week to kind of give her an immune system because she really doesn't have one, and she was born without the foundation in her body to make one.
Maddie has a rare disease known as severe combined immunodeficiency, or SCID. At just 3 months old, a virus put her in the hospital in liver failure and then in need of a liver transplant.
The doctor said she has about 5 to 7 days to get one is all we have. And his estimate was wrong. We hit a day and a half. And then he came back in and said, we can't wait anymore.
Maddie's 20-year-old uncle stepped up to help. He donated a portion of his liver that was placed in Maddie to regenerate itself. It was a life-saving gift. Her illness has taught her to live with purpose.
That Team Maddie really matters.
Team Maddie and its slogan, Making Things Matter, has a really big message from this little girl.
Making things matter means that if you don't feel like you feel like you just can't do it, you have to get up, try again, and try to make something matter and try to help somebody.
To help spread the word, Maddie wrote a speech. And she has taken her inspiring message to anyone who would listen. She recently shared her story in a college leadership class. Some of her favorite Wildcats, even Coach Cal, were there, and she asked them to make it matter. Just days after we first met Maddie, she would truly learn how many people's lives she's actually touched. You see, Maddie's house caught fire, and she and her family lost most everything they own.
Oh, that was just devastating. We were really hoping that the stuff downstairs could be saved, and it couldn't because of her health and all the insulation.
As news spread of what happened, Maddie's family was overwhelmed with the kindness of friends, family, and even complete strangers.
People's given me new toys, and they've gave me all kinds of things.
Maddie's whole family has been touched. They have a new place to live, and Maddie has a new room.
The outpouring of love and support, and people just showing up and saying, here, take this. What does Maddie need? What do you guys need? What can we do? It has been so humbling.
She is a little girl with a really big message who's now witnessed her own motto of making it matter come full circle. And all she can say is,
thank you very much.
She is something else. And in all their years of battling Maddie's illness, her family, they've never asked for any help. But now her friends want to help, and they have set up a GoFundMe page so you can make it matter for Maddie. And all you have to do is go to WKYT.com for more information.
And we need your help to make sure less fortunate children in Kentucky have a Merry Christmas. WKYT teaming up with Mission of Hope to collect toys, clothes, and other donations for children. All day long, you have been bringing your donations right here to the station on Winchester Road. And Jennifer Palumbo joins us live with an update now. Jennifer?
Sam, we are just about finished here for our collection today, but take a look. Since 6 o'clock this morning, people have been stopping by, dropping off donations, toiletries, food, toys, clothing, all of it to help needy children in southeastern Kentucky. Amy Kidd with WKYT has spearheaded our station event here. I've dropped off my bags as well. This has been an incredible scene here at the station today.
You know, our viewers are so giving and so compassionate, and they've demonstrated that since we first opened our doors at 6 o'clock this morning. We have literally had armloads of new coats come in, trunk loads of toys, baskets full of hygiene items. So many acts of selfless giving here today. We could not be happier.
Well, we are here until 6:30 tonight, but people can still stop by the station through next Monday, weekdays during business hours.
That's exactly right. Come on by, or you can go to our website and see where you can drop off at the Blue Barrels around town.
A lot of places that people can. Jill Travis, you're a longtime volunteer with Mission of Hope. This is helping children in our area, in our state, who might not otherwise get anything for Christmas.
Right here in our back door. And that's what we need, and we want to thank everyone on behalf of Mission of Hope for coming today and showing such generosity. And you have to December 8th, though, to continue showing all this support, and we really appreciate you all.
Well, thank you so much. 18,000 children will be helped by the Mission of Hope Christmas Drive this year. You can get more information at WKYT.com. Come and see us during business hours here at WKYT or all the other locations throughout central Kentucky that are taking donations as well. That's it from the WKYT lobby for now. Sam, back to you.
Thank you, Jennifer. The season of giving going strong there. Well, what goes into making sure all those Cyber Monday orders get to the right place? Next, we take you inside one of Amazon's fulfillment centers in Kentucky.